Hello guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about the AP Custom Ultralight Handguard tube. The Ultralight Handguard tube from AP Custom is the original design before they merged with Rhino arms. So the original version, I've got a piece of paper stuck inside this one so you can see really well. But the quickest way to tell whether you've got the original version of the ultralight tube is to look right here at the base of the tube. At the base of the tube, you'll see that it has 3 locations where it connects to the trunnion. This is what the trunnion looks like. The trunnion attaches to your factory barrel nut, which I'll show you in just a second. But the quickest way to tell whether you have a original Generation 1 or the new Generation 2 is to look for the number of screw holes. There's not a screw hole at the 12 o'clock location where your top rail would go. If you have the tactical model like this, you'll have a top rail at 12 o'clock. But you'll just have 3 locations, 3, 6, and 9, and it'll have a single screw at that location. There's another video, or there will be another video on here about the Generation 2 handguard tube, and that'll describe a little more what to expect from those. But this is what the original AP Custom tube looked like. This was designed to be the lightest possible handguard. It's extremely strong. Carbon fiber is much, much stronger than aluminum for the same weight. The only place where it loses strength is along the sides where the ventilation holes are cut, and then along the bottom where there's also ventilation holes. This, incidentally, is where rails attach. So if you have rail sections that look like this, those rail sections attach at those little holes, and I will try to make it where you can see exactly how this works. So these little oval backers right here, they just slide in the oval holes, and real closely you can see a tab on each end. Those tabs lock into the edges of the oval holes. Now, the little aluminum tabs will break off if you happen to have a flashlight connected on there, or you have a hand guard, or you have a hand grip attached on there. It's designed to break away. So those little tabs, you can see this one has the tip broken off where the other end still has the tab there. If you catch or snag those on something, the accessory will pop off the rail before the weapon gets pulled from the sling, or you get pulled into whatever's got you caught or hung up. Airborne guys and Navy SEALs, guys that are around, waves and aircraft and stuff will appreciate that. But this handguard is extremely light. It's suited more for a 3-gun. You could use it in combat applications, but the Generation 2 and the Rhino series rails are both a little more rugged than this version. But this version is extremely light. In fact, it's so light that just the addition of the top rail, which you could see here, the tactical top rail, can pretty much double the weight of the handguard. Just that aluminum top rail. So it's extremely light. It has multiple accessories that attach to it. Here you see a piece of 2-inch Picatinny rail that's attached on the bottom for the bipod to attach to. There's also a bipod stud that you could use down there to attach a bipod or a sling. And then there's a quick detach sling mount that you see right here that's fastened into one of those holes. Makes it really easy. And I can't begin to tell you how light these handguards are. But at the end of the video, hopefully I'll remember, and I'll try to put a page that just has nothing but the weight of the different handguards for different lengths, because they're available in 7-inch, which most people know is the carbine length for M4 carbines. Then there's a mid-length, which is 9-inch, and then a rifle length, which is 12-inch, and then there's also a 13.5, which we just round off to the 14, call it a 14, and then there's a 15-inch and then a 17-inch. So lots of different lengths. So each length is, of course, a different weight. And then the top rail, if you order the tactical model, the top rail also changes the weight. So lots of different weights there. It gets a little confusing trying to tell people exactly how light these are because there are so many different versions of this with all the different lengths, and then top rail without the top rail. You get the idea. So how this handguard attaches is the trunnion, which you see here, is two pieces. There's the back of the trunnion, which is basically just a ring, and then there's the front of the trunnion. Okay, and then the tube slides on, and then the screws hold the tube to the trunnion. So it's pretty sturdy. It holds up pretty well. But if you have a long gun, this is a 15-inch, but if you had a 17-inch gun and you had a bipod on there and you put torque on the bipod, a lot of times the mechanics of that, creates a fulcrum, and you get a lot of pressure there at the bipod, and you can actually pop the rail piece out of the bottom of the handguard or break the ears off. So if you're going to use a bipod on there, it's best to have the dedicated bipod stud, which to achieve that, you drill a hole right here in the bottom, and then there is a radius washer that goes inside, and then the bipod stud screws through, and you get a very sturdy mount that way, which also on the Generation 2, that's something that you see a lot more commonly because people were breaking bipods, putting a lot of torque on them. But what I'll do real quick is take the handguard off of this one and let you see the barrel nut setup. The handguard, you take it off using a T25, number 25 Torx bit, and just unscrew it. They don't have to be super tight when you put them on there. The best type of screw to use, and I get asked a lot to send people these screws. You could just see it's a Torx bit cap screw, and on this model there are just three of them that hold the handguard on. Bear with me here while I take these screws out. Okay. So you can see it locks up pretty tight. Okay, and here we've got for you to see how the barrel nut holds the trunnion on there when it is tightened. If I can get this thing to cooperate, I'll take these other 4 screws out. Okay, you can see that's already starting to loosen up quite a bit. Okay, now incidentally, these are also Torx 25, very, very annoyingly small screws that hold this trunnion together. Okay, now there's the backer ring. Not much to it. And then here you can see the collar part of the trunnion. that's held in by the mil-spec barrel nut. So that's really all there is to this handguard. Is you put this ring here, the collar, behind the barrel nut, put the barrel in, and then screw the barrel nut on, and that holds that piece in place. And then this little collar, or this little the little front part, attaches to it there, and then that's the complete trunnion, and then the handguard attaches to that. So for those of you that want to know how this system works, that's how it goes. On the top rails, the tactical top rails, another way to identify that you have a Generation 1 ultralight handguard is you'll see the pairs of screws that hold the top rail to the carbon fiber tube. That also uses the same backer, this same type of backer, to hold that on. So if you take that off, you also can take out those same small screws. It's the same backers that work on the little Picatinny rail side pieces, and those are the same as the Generation 2. The little 2-inch and 4-inch Picatinny rail pieces work the same way on the Generation 2. So I hope that explains the handguard pretty well. A lot of people will call or email and want to know, if they have a Generation 1 or Generation 2 handguard, and so hopefully that clears it up. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you or made things more clear, be sure to use the like and the share button down below, and that way I'll know that I'm doing a good job of making things clear in the videos. If I didn't do a good job, or there's still things you don't understand, send me an email. My email address will be at the end of the video, and I'll hopefully edit the video and add things or take things away or whatever. Thank you.